There we go. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Vaughn in the building.
Big
And we
Brown
got,
in the building. What's going on?
yes, sir. Welcome to the War Room, y'all. All right, today we are going to be diving into the 2025 NFL mock draft. We're going to be making some picks. We're going to give you a little deep dive, well, not a deep dive, but a quick little dive into it. Let you guys know our thoughts on the process and how we got there. And then we might make a couple bold predictions here. Some teams that might be willing to trade up and get their guy in the first round. So we here. It's draft season, baby. Let's get to it.
Let's get into it. You taking that first pick?
Yeah, man. I feel like, I'll start it off.
Or is that foregone? You want to just do that one and then skip it? Is that a foregone conclusion? Yeah,
it is pretty foregone, but we can just browse over it. Right. The Titans they're on the clock, number one. The commissioner probably already has the letter.
Right. Out the gate. He got the envelope, man. Because your boy was on a podcast shouting out, some of the position players and stuff like that. I don't know if you heard about that. Saying something about your boy better than AJ Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Judy?
Yeah. He was going pretty crazy, bro. I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And so it's I think, and he was also talking about their running backs and stuff like that for the Titans and stuff. So I feel like it's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
Oh, he ready then. He ready.
He ready to get on down there and get to work. Congratulations to him. He should be the first off the board.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right.
That's what's
we
up.
Got Cam Ward coming off the board, first overall pick to the Titans.
Right.
And now we moving on to the Browns. Who you got, Steve? Who they taking?
Browns. I think the Browns need a quarterback. I think they want a quarterback. They need somebody to get that stink off of them. That Deshaun Watson was it 330 guaranteed? That stink off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they can't do it. They can't do it right here because this ain't a quarterback draft. And so I feel like they need a momentum changing type of player. They need like an uplifting type player and stuff like that. They need like a splashy guy. And so that's why I'm gonna say Travis Hunter. And I don't feel like they should take Travis Hunter, even though he can play multiple positions. I feel like that's gonna hurt him, you know what I'm saying, like in wide receiver room, cornerback room. Like it's gonna split his time and it's gonna stun his growth a little bit. And so if they just strictly playing him at wide receiver, I still don't feel like they should be taking a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that's the position they need. I feel like they should go with the best player in the draft, which is Abdul Carter. Go ahead and get that edge on the other side of Myles Garrett. That's the problem right there, dog.
That would be a huge problem.
That is a huge problem. But I feel like they're going to make that splashy pick and they're going to go with Travis Hunter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say Travis Hunter, cornerback, wide receiver out of Colorado, going to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, it's a good pick for them. My only thing is he might be a little, if they force him to play like one side, he said he was quitting. And I think the GM from Cleveland was like, yeah, we see him as a receiver. So we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Sure.
we'll see how it goes. Yeah. They definitely ain't gonna want him to quit. So I'm sure they're gonna sprinkle in a dime package or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Red zone package or something on defense. Keep him happy. But you know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna take him. I think they're definitely gonna take him.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, up next we got the New York Giants picking at number 3. All right, so we got Cam Ward off the board. Travis Hunter just went. The Giants, they need quarterback, guard, running back, D tackle, and a linebacker. In this situation, I feel like they don't need a quarterback, especially a quarterback that's not like a sure thing, right?
Gotcha.
So at number 3, I feel like they're going to go with the player that's going to change their franchise. And, I got them picking Abdul Carter.
Edge. Yeah. And so, what do you feel like? You don't feel like they need that?
He's a generational guy. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Like they do need a quarterback, but I feel like so with what they got now, they have Russell and Jameis Winston, right? They're both stopgaps at this point in their careers. To me, honestly, I would probably start Jameis because he's the gunslinger. He's a gunslinger in the group. Russ is playing it safe. You know, he's not going to necessarily like lose you games, but you know, he's like the safe starter.
Right.
To me, it's Jameis. Man, he's gonna throw the ball down the field. He's gonna keep your receivers happy. You know, he's gonna make some mistakes, but at the same time, like, man, he can win you some games. You know, if he's in the right system, he can win you some games. So I like taking the upside guy with Jameis to start there. But you know, like I said, both are stopgaps, and I feel like there's some talent later on in the draft that they can get that probably has more upside than Shedeur than me. So number 3, I'm gonna go with Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter off the board.
Number 4.
Number 4, the Patriots on the clock. I got the Patriots needs as offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, you know, running back. They got their quarterback. They got, you know, good secondary, stuff like that, decent linebacker. The defense ain't bad, you know. So I mean, I feel like the best available player is the defensive tackle out of Michigan, like what's his name? Graham. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Mason. Yeah.
Mason Graham. Yeah, out of Michigan. But I feel like they need to get him. They need to get your boys some weapons on offense. They got Polk at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Who else they got, man?
They signed Diggs this offseason.
They did get Diggs. Okay. Perfect. So they got wide receivers. They got 2 solid wide receivers. Polk is still empty. They got some more cats.
Diggs coming off that ACL tear though, so
it's gonna be he may not be ready for the start of the season. Huh? Yeah. So I'm thinking it's probably gonna be they got Ramondre in the backfield. That's whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's probably gonna be a tight end, and so I'm gonna go with the tight end from Penn State, Tyler Warren. You know, and I feel like he can be a difference maker. I don't even feel like he's the best tight end in the draft, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? He's highly touted and stuff like that, and he got a lot of hype because he does a lot of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like them playing tight end, he did a lot of stuff at Penn State. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get to the other tight end that I'm a little bit more excited about. But I think New England got to make this play because they need a big time player. You know, I also think it's like just a tidbit. If Abdul Carter was to fall to number 4 some kind of way, I feel like the Patriots would want to trade that pick. You know, that it's been something that's circulating, you know what I'm saying, about the Eagles making, you know, jumping up and trying to get Abdul Carter, you know, to go with, you know, the other red man, you know what I'm saying? Go with Carter. Now you already got Carter. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I feel like they would try to, they've been wanting that wide receiver to go with your boy, Drake May, you know, AJ Brown. And so I feel like the Eagles would be willing to trade AJ Brown, their first this year and a first next year, to go up and get Abdul Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like just to, you know what I'm saying, pair with your boy down there. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that would be like a blockbuster trade. Yeah. But I feel like it's something that could happen, but I doubt that Abdul Carter would, you know, fall that far.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He ain't going past the Giants.
The Giants ain't going. The Giants probably ain't going to do nothing stupid unless the Giants like trade back. If somebody trade up there to get like Shedeur or something ridiculous like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I mean it's possible because you know how this league is about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know
very.
So I'm gonna go ahead with Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State right now for the Patriots, and we're gonna lock that in.
All right, Ty Warren is gone. All right, at number 5, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock. Their team needs going to be a D tackle, D end, safety, linebacker, and a wide receiver, right? Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying much attention to the news wire, but there's been some chatter about them potentially drafting Ashton Genty, which makes sense because they, apparently soured on ETN, and Tank Bigsby he's decent, but he's a bit of a plotter,
Right.
So Genty fits the bill. They just signed an offensive coach. They hired an offensive-minded coach. So I think he wants to run his system his way with his guys. So with that being said, I think here at this point, defense is going to be optional in Jacksonville next year.
So they're not going to go on defense, huh? They're not going defense.
No, they're not going to go defense here. They're not going to go defense. I'm going to say this is going to be the first probably reach of the draft. I'm going to say they take Ashton Genty, the running back from the Jaguars.
Wow. The pair with Trevor Lawrence and
yes.
And what's the kid's name, the wide receiver, the rookie?
Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas, yeah.
Brian Thomas, yeah.
Nice little trio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Take some pressure off Lawrence. I feel like they could use that offensive line and use some help on the offensive line. You know what I mean? But it's not like I'm looking at my big board. It's not like any huge like offensive line. I feel like you can get some. You can still get some, or they could trade back in and get some, or it's an offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like plentiful draft. So
yeah,
be able to get one later. No, that's a splashy pick, and that's gonna be an exciting offense, man.
It is big time.
Fantasy.
Big time.
I'm gonna like Jenny in that offense, man. I'm gonna be looking to see what's going on with him. All right, so the Raiders are on the clock, and the Raiders were gonna take Genty. I'm not gonna lie to you. They definitely was gonna take Genty. So they're thinking about trading out now, but the Raiders are gonna stay. They're gonna stay on the clock, and their positional needs. I do have running back. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. I got wide receiver. And I got cornerback. You know what I mean? And so it's looking like they're gonna go offensive line though. You know what I'm saying? The Raiders are gonna go offensive line. They're gonna be boring. They're gonna go ahead and go offensive line. We're gonna take the offensive tackle out of Missouri. And this guy's name is Ahmad Mabu. Out of Missouri. So they're gonna take that tackle. They're gonna go boring. You know what I'm saying? Just this is probably the pick that they probably should have made over Genty anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they wanted Genty. They wanted to be exciting. It's Vegas. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
go ahead. They're gonna take the offensive tackle out of Missouri, Armand Mabu. They're gonna go ahead and take him off the board. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's the best tackle in the draft, pretty much by far. He may be the best offensive lineman in the draft. You know what I'm saying?
Over Campbell?
Over Campbell. Campbell out of LSU. I feel like he's a little bit down the board. You know what I'm saying? I like this other guy, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more. And so I feel like the Raiders going to go ahead and take him. Now, that would have been a splashy pick, too. They considered taking Campbell. You know what I mean? But, the Raiders, you know what I'm saying, they're going to rock it out like this. They got a nice little core. You know what I'm saying? Nice little core down there to try to build something. They were tempted to take the other tight end that I was telling you about. You know what I'm saying? They were tempted to take him and go with Bowers, just run some Patriots, Aaron Hernandez, Gronk shit. But, I mean, they fought against that, and they build him from the inside. You know what I mean? So they're going to go like that.
It addresses a huge need for them, too. Huge need.
Yeah. Bro, anytime you can get those guys in the trenches, dog, just look at the Eagles, dog. You know what I mean? Anytime you get those guys in the trenches on both sides, stack them up. You know what I mean?
All right, so we got the Raiders taking Mimba. All right, so we're at the New York Jets, correct? Pick 7?
Yes, sir. Pick 7.
All right, so Jets just hired a defensive-minded coach Aaron Glenn from the Lions. He was the D coordinator for a couple years. Their biggest needs are going to be offensive lineman, wide receiver, tight end, safety, and D lineman. So, with that said, right, and they just signed a new QB, a new running quarterback, Justin Fields. Uh, they have Garrett at receiver, and then I think just Lazard and a couple young guys. Uh, so I think it's going to make sense for them to draft an offensive lineman, and I think Will Campbell's fall is going to end here. The Jets going to select offensive lineman Will Campbell.
Will Campbell, right. Off the board.
Off the board.
All right, just address that issue. Perfect pick for them. Perfect pick.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect pick. All right, good deal. Let me see. Panthers on the clock at 8. And so I got their needs as edge, everything on defense. Edge, safety, corner. They can use a lot on defense. And probably, I guess they got the D tackle, so they don't really need that. You know what I mean? But everything else they could use. So I'm going to take the guy out of Georgia, not the linebacker out of Georgia, but the edge out of Georgia, Mikael Williams. We're going to take Mikael Williams at number 8 overall. We're going to take him over Jalen Walker. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go Mikael Williams. We're going to do it like that. Try to get some pass rushers. Try to get that edge, you know what I'm saying, back in Carolina and rush that passer,
Yeah, we need a disruptor. We need a disruptor.
Gotta have that disruptor, dog. You know what I'm saying? Got to have it.
All right. Well, we are on to the Saints at pick number 9. With the news that Derek Carr is probably going to miss the season, whether it be that he just doesn't want to play,
right?
That's what it's looking like.
Taking an injury in him. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah. Or he might really be injured, but its biggest need is going to be a QB, right? And I feel like at this point, they have been spending quite a bit of time with Jackson Dart, and they spent some time with Shedeur Sanders. So they need a young guy to groom. He's probably whoever they draft is gonna start day one, and unless they trade for a veteran like Kirk Cousins, then I feel like they're definitely gonna go with Jackson Dart here, number 9, over Shedeur Sanders.
Wow.
Jackson Dart.
Okay.
Splashy.
So yeah. So I like that pick, and I'm thinking about actually. Let me find him on my list. Let me look way down on my list and find this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about actually putting some money on that, because I feel like the odds is pretty good of Dart going before Shedeur, first of all, but going to the Saints exactly, because I feel like Kellen Moore, being the offensive coordinator, just coming from the Eagles, working with Hurts, stuff like that. I feel like that might be a great marriage.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
That is that. I mean, but like I said, a lot of the mocks don't really have that. They also have like a lot of juice on Jackson Dart just going top 10 overall. I think it's like plus. I want to say it's like plus 600 or something like that.
Ooh, so I need to check those.
You can get some bread on that. You know what I'm saying? So and you know how quarterbacks just fly off the board anyway. Sometimes, like if was to grab Shedeur, they could still get your boy at 9, and so that's a sneaky one. You know what I'm saying? I like that one. All right, moving on. Bears at number 10. Offensive line, defensive line, and running back. And I think the Bears will make a splash at running back. I don't think they're going to go defensive line. They probably should go offensive line, honestly. But they did I think they made a couple signings, over the offseason and stuff like that. Can't remember exactly who they were. But I think they made a couple signings and stuff like that. So I think they're going to start. They're gonna take Amarion Hampton at running back out of UNC. They're gonna take Amarion Hampton. Gonna go ahead and knock him off the board, and then that's what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? I don't like Omarion myself, but you know what I'm saying? Like over my next guy. But that's who they're gonna take. Omarion Hampton. That's who they're gonna rock with.
Yeah. They still have Roshan Johnson under contract too, right?
Yes, sir. Should be still under contract. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm thinking they're gonna take that guy,
that's
to help
a good pick for them.
Passing game and all that stuff. Yeah.
Go ahead, say that one time.
I said I'm thinking they're gonna take Omarion though. I feel like he's gonna help in the passing game. You know what I'm saying, and the running game. I feel like that'd be perfect for Caleb. You know what I'm saying. So
he's a 3-down guy too, right?
3-down, yes sir. Yeah.
It might end up being the RB1 by the time it's said and done.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of Carolina running backs, though, man.
So you're not?
All right, pick 11. Nah, man, Javonte Williams.
Yeah. We'll see. I feel like I know where you're going with pick 11, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see if mine is coming to fruition. But I feel like a 49ers pick is right there in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and see what it is. What you got?
All right. So, there's a ton of value that has fallen to the 49ers. It has adjusted their plans. They originally targeting cornerback, but big time pass rusher disruptor could end up being one of the best defensive guys in this draft. Has fallen to them at pick 11, right? So they're going to pull the trigger. They're taking Mason Graham, D lineman from Michigan.
Off the board. Mason Graham.
Is that who you're thinking about?
I knew it, but I knew it was going to be between those two. But I was also thinking about the Georgia linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Walker.
Walker.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was also thinking about Walker too, just because that's what the 49ers do. You know what I'm saying? You knew it was gonna be deep. It was definitely gonna be defense, and it was definitely gonna be somebody in the front seven. You know what I mean? So, perfect pick. All right, we got the Cowboys up. Cowboys at number 12. They're good for messing this thing up, man. We know how the Cowboys do. They're gonna be flashy. They're gonna do what they do. Genty is off the board, and Hampton is off the board. Cowboys could use a running back, but the Cowboys are going to go with a wide receiver because they're flashy, so they're going to go with the best wide receiver or the most hype wide receiver. They're going to go Ted McMillan out of Arizona, and they're going to try to take some of that pressure off of your boy CeeDee Lamb, and they're going to rock out like that.
It's a great pick for them.
Yeah,
addresses a glaring need.
Yeah. Finally get somebody opposite you, boy. Finally.
Yeah. Big time. Wow. Okay. All right. 13. We got the Miami Dolphins. They finished 8-9 last year. They the defense. They need a ton of help on the defensive end. All right. They got to get tougher. First of all, you got pushed around a lot last year, and a couple guys retire. And they're getting ready to ship Jalen Ramsey out. They're shipping him out. So they're going to go best available. They're going to take they're going to take you know what? I just had a brain fart here, because I'm looking at my big board, and I feel like they're This is tough one.
Dolphins, yeah.
Yeah, this is tough.
Where they going? Offense, defense?
You know what? You know what? This isn't obvious, but I feel like it is obvious. So I'm going to say the Dolphins. They're going to end Shedeur Sanders' slide, and they're going to draft him. They're going to take Sanders here.
Sanders, bro.
Yeah, even with Tua there. By the time
crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's a huge reach. But at this point in the draft, you got a potential guy that could have been the top pick in the draft.
Right.
Or second pick.
Right in that range, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're going to end his slide and they're going to shock everybody and draft him. They can't depend on Tua. The
Right.
concussion
Definitely.
history. So I feel like this is
So
a
this is
safe
a
spot.
franchise altering move right here, bro. Like this
It
is
is.
putting Tua on notice,
Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah.
this is a big one. That's a big one. That's a shocker. You know what I mean? That is a shocker right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Well, you got anything else on them? Are you good to go?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah,
Good to
good to
All
go.
right. All right. Colts. This is an obvious pick. With the Colts got. They're gonna take tight end. They're gonna go Colston Loveland. You know what I mean? And out of where do you play at? Look at my notes. Out of Michigan. The big guy out of Michigan. Yeah. And so I feel like he may have been the better tight end over the other kid, Warren, but the other kid got a little bit more hype. And I feel like Loveland, they obviously whoever the quarterback is gonna be, Richardson, you know what I'm saying, whether it's gonna be Danny Dimes, they're gonna need that big target, and I mean they got Pittman on the outside. They got Mitchell. They still got Mitchell. They got Mitchell stuff on the outside. But I feel like
Pierce.
they got Pierce. They got Pierce Speezer. I feel like they need that big guy streaking. And Loveland is a monster, dog. He's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Not very good at blocking and stuff like that. But he's a monster. You know what I'm saying? On that field, receiving, great hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like this would be perfect for them. I doubt they stick with Richardson. That's my boy. I doubt they stick with him, man. But Danny Dimes is not that is not the competition. Like Richardson is not scared of Danny Dimes.
It's like they signed him to be the starter, man. Then they signed him like $14 million or something like that.
They gave him some money, man. They gave him some money. You know what I'm saying? 1 year deal, I think, something like that. So
yeah,
they definitely gave him some money, starter money. So I don't know, but either way, I'm gonna take that kid Loveland. You know what I mean, for the Colts. And striking. You know what I mean, and that's where they're gonna go.
All right. Falcons are on the clock, picking at number 15. They are in need of defense. Definitely on that line. In the secondary as well, they need help on O-line. But I feel like the biggest thing for them is they need that pass rushing help. So, with that being said, right, they're going to end Jalen Walker's slide.
Gotcha.
So they're gonna take him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're gonna take him. So win-win for both parties. His slide stops and they get a perennial Pro Bowl guy. So.
Oh yeah, perfect. That's a perfect pick. Perfect marriage.
Keeps him home too.
Yeah. That is freaking perfect. That landed perfectly. I feel like that's their position of need the most too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's going to be on defense. The offense is going to be pretty good, I think, next year with Penix. You know what I mean? But that defense could use some work. You know what I mean? So, would you